The purpose of this panel is to talk with you and share our best thinking about what are the key things for building a sustainable business, a sustainable social purpose business.
I'm a founder of a company called Eline Ventures. It's basically two of us that for the last year have been doing angel investing in a double bottom line thesis. We particularly we filter our investments for things that have market or better returns, but a qualifying social impact. What I think makes us a little bit unique are the sectors that we play in. Our core focus is around popular media with a tight focus on computer and video games, comics and graphic novels, and this emerging field of personal fabrication, making things as a form of empowerment. So we're very focused in those areas. When we filter our business plans, we look for core competitive strategies that are organic to the social impact. The social impact has to be in the very nature of what the business wants to be. It can't be attached to the business. Having run a number of businesses, including double bottom line, blended value businesses, make sure that you have a clear understanding of the impact that you're desiring. Understand how that impact aligns with how you're making money, the core business model. And if there's a misalignment, don't put the gas on until you have a full alignment, because it will fray when things start getting tough. And make sure there's a clear alignment among all your stakeholders, specifically your investors and your core staff, around the alignment of the business model and the social impact model. And understand that you can't be an expert in all those areas. So you're going to have to find partners in some form to sort of make the vision whole.
Thank you. All right. Lauri's turn.
I don't know if most of you were in the opening session, but one phrase that the second speaker said really made me think, and that's turn your success into significance. Well, for those of you that are just starting out, or for those of you that are scaling, you might not actually be at the success point, and I definitely know how that feels. I was brought in about 7 years ago to take a small cottage industry. It was actually a nonprofit. It is a nonprofit social enterprise called the Enterprising Kitchen, and help move it from its cottage industry phase to more of a sophisticated, professionally managed operation. Not easy. It actually reminded me of when I had my first child, who's now 15, and the pediatrician said, "Oh, they don't come with manuals." Well, you know, if you, and I hadn't had any experience with infants and whatnot, but if you know how to find people who can help you, that's what you need to do. So you don't need to have an MBA from Harvard. It might help, but you certainly don't need that. If you have a passion and you believe in something and you have the drive to go for it, you should do it. You just need to know what you're getting into, whether you're starting up a venture or whether you're scaling a venture. This is not something you want to undertake by yourself. And that notion runs true whether if you have a board of directors, you need to have that board not just informed, but engaged and involved and using all of their resources to help you take it to the next level. Whether you are starting a venture, looking at an anchor tenant customer who might be able to take you, and this is especially true if you're scaling, who might be able to help take you to the next level of revenue growth. And working, you know, moving beyond the silos of your internal organization to break down communication barriers, to break down very traditional structures so that there is collaboration on the fringes, and that is what will lead to success, which will then hopefully lead to significance.
Great, thanks. All right, and Paul Lamb.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Paul Lamb, man on mission consulting. My background is mostly in nonprofit social enterprise, and in fact, right now I'm working with 4 brand new startups. So these are nonprofit social enterprises supported by the Zero Divide Foundation, which is also here as part of this confab. And in fact, if you want to see some really wonderful new enterprises pitch their enterprises tomorrow, all 4 are going to be doing that at I believe noon, and tomorrow noon. So check it out. One other thing I want to say is I've had the great pleasure and the great frustration of myself starting a number of different nonprofit social enterprises, everything from a t-shirt production company run by former gang youth to a computer repair and network support business, which now has 3 locations throughout the Bay Area. And so the way I approach all this stuff is very much from kind of a bird's eye view, kind of ground up, versus a top-down view of how to start a business, how to sustain a business, how to scale a business. And in all of that work, there are a couple things that stand out in my mind. I just want to throw a few of those out there and see if they stick. And hopefully we can get into more of that along with the other excellent points raised during the discussion. The one thing that I see a lot, and I've experienced myself, is lack of a clear business model. And I think it's a tendency for a lot of startup businesses, nonprofit or for-profit, to try to be everything to everybody. Make sure that your business model, your tagline, whatever, fits on a t-shirt so that it's easily explained, people get it right away, instead of having to explain, you know, your 15 different business model approaches. The second thing I would mention is a lot of startups that I've been involved with really don't do the homework ahead of time in terms of due diligence to understand the business that they're getting into and the competitors in that space. And I think it's really hard to move toward sustainability when you, or get funders to support you to begin with, if you don't understand what business it is you're in and who your competitors are. The third thing I see a lot of is lack of focus on marketing, particularly in the early stages. I think it's worth mentioning that folks should put equal strength as social purpose businesses on the social story and the financial story. Depending on who you are, it's easy to roll right into your social story and tell that well, or to be able to show the numbers. But as a social purpose business, you have to be able to talk to both audiences. And ideally, both of those stories intersect very well, but you may be in a particular audience that responds better to the social story or the financial story. And you need to have those stories down and know who you're talking to. The last thing I would mention, goes without saying, but having the right people on the team. In the nonprofit social enterprise world, what you see a lot of is folks are starting a business and you draw from what you have at hand, which is your current staff. A lot of times those folks do not have experience in that particular line of business. And unfortunately, it's not always a luxury where you can bring in new people or pay for new folks. But it's really something that folks need to take into consideration before you invest in a new business. And that goes for-profits as well. There are folks who are great innovators and have good ideas about a new business, but can you really run and manage a business over the long run? Again, getting back to the issue of sustainability and scalability. Who's gonna do that part of the business after it launches and after it moves forward? Last thing, a story, if you will so indulge me. My story is called A Short Sustainable Business Story. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a very sustainable business. It didn't look like all the other businesses. In fact, it didn't look like a business at all. It looked like a heck of a lot of fun for all the people that worked there. There was nowhere else those people wanted to be and nothing else they would rather be doing. The business was called Magic Works. And it worked well, and it worked like, well, magic. When the owners told the story of the business to strangers, it moved some people to tears. It made others want to help, and most incredibly of all, it made most people hand over their hard-earned money to get a little piece of magic for themselves. As soon as people got the magic they wanted, they wanted more. And soon word spread so that other people wanted magic too. Pretty soon, magic grew and everyone in the community was benefiting from the magic, and even learning to create magic for themselves. Magic spread throughout the kingdom, and customers and workers alike couldn't stay away because they had come to believe in magic. The moral of my story? Sustainability is about more than just having the money, a good business model, and the right people. It's about the magic, baby. Thank you.